As a little girl, I remember my mom deciding to take us all to Catholic church and the basket going around, and I was really puzzled at this basket going around and why people were putting money in it. And I always wanted to put my hand in and grab the money out, but no, can't do that. And so I grew up thinking, well, I don't understand that. When this thing came up with what does tithing mean for you? I really didn't have a scope of it, because my husbands were the ones that gave the money, and I knew we gave a certain percentage, but how much. And this past year, when what I'm going through now financially, I just made myself a point of saying, if it's 10%, I'm going to give 15%, or I'm going to give more, because I should have a sacrifice in life somewhere, because I've never really sacrificed other than giving my love to people like everybody else. So tithing to me was not really something that I thought about until I was totally alone. There's a new thing that with the tithing, so I figured out how much I was going to give, and then I get really upset when I forget my checkbook, and I go, well, I'll get it first of the month, and then I would forget the next month, and then I double it the second month. So I would it's irregular, but I'm trying to get it on a steady flow. But I've noticed, even though when I was worried about bills and things would happen, like I got a bill from the lawyer, and I didn't think what I was have to pay that until after the whole court thing, and it turned out, they were going to start charging me interest. So I gave them a big check. I was like, how am I going to pay the bills? And it didn't really matter, because I still had the money, and I started looking at that, and the money was still there. So God's always taken care of me. Even when I was having a hard time in my first marriage, where we had hardly any money, we were just making it from check to check. I was worried about food for the kids, and my husband had just started working, and, I went out to the mailbox, and there was a check in there for $450 from the state from 3 years past that they had made a mistake. So it was like, there's always been this gifting that's always overwhelmed me, even in people, in events, in blessings. Having this church around me is a blessing in itself. So to me, tithing is something that's essential. I think that I'm building my treasures in heaven. And that's what I'm doing. I know that nothing will ever happen to me that the Lord is going to let, take me down. He says to be in the moment. And in the moment, if in reality, the world could end tomorrow, right? So I'm not living like penny to penny, but I don't think of it that way. I just think, this is how much money I'm going to put away. This is how much money I give away. This is how much money I have to pay for bills. And that's it. The first thing is put the money towards the church, then put the money to the food, and then the next thing is the bills. The last thing is the bills, which sometimes can be kind of scary. But my faith has grown in exponentially, because I see that I am just as better off, actually, than I was a year and a half ago when I started worrying about money than I am, was then. You know what I mean? I'm better off now than I was then. I'm not really worried about money anymore, because it's just money. It comes and it goes. It's paper. It's what value you put behind it. And the value I put behind it is to help the church. And then there's the other tithing that I do, which is I try to help out and do things, and that's my way of giving too. So there's lots of ways of giving, I encourage all of you to think about all the times that God has touched your life and all that He's given you, and to give out of your hearts and love instead of fear or this is a protection, because that's not how it works. He loves us. He wants us to be part of the church, and He wants us to give, and to give to each other, and to love each other. Thanks. Bye.